Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Chicagoland Speedway, the halfway point in the AT&T Champ Car World Series season. Welcome to ABN Sports coverage of the Overton 300 here from Chicagoland. 30 cars set to do battle here on the 1.5 mile oval as we spend a second week in the greater Chicago area. Some drivers looking to take off right where they were a week ago in the streets of Chicago. Some drivers looking to rebound on a far easier territory. 30 cars, though. It's going to be wide open all the way through here tonight. Average speeds reaching about 209 miles an hour here at Chicagoland. Top speeds of about 219 miles per hour. Far different than what we saw in the concrete jungle a week ago. Under the lights, a little bit more pressure as everyone tries to adapt before we head to Europe for a couple of races in the Netherlands and in Italy. Artem Kozlov will lead us to green, the reigning Indianapolis 500 champion, grabbing their first pole in 2023 alongside Evangeline Porter. Then it's Joliet and Natalia Vulicevic in row 2. Nicole Lechty and Thomas Rogers make up row 4. Then you'll find the cluster of Cat Devil Racing machines that have dominated the championship so far this season. Valerie Fang alongside Alicia Kovalkiewicz. And then the stepsisters in row 5. Sakura Ishibashi and the reigning champion and current points leader, Kuni Kinoshita, starting 10th. Again, a lot of drivers looking to make things happen in this race. You look at some of the drivers a little bit further mid-pack. Alexander in the 11th position, looking to make some work happen alongside Keisha Fox there in row 6. Wyatt Jones had a phenomenal finish last time he was at an oval. The Indianapolis 500, he got his best result of the season. Looking to add to that. He's got to come from 14th on the grid. Kaika Kobayashi starts in 15th. Alongside Maria D'Amata, who last time we were at an intermediate track, a mile and a half, they won. They won Texas. Atomic Autosport at these mile and a halves have been very, very dangerous. And it's very evident with Evangeline Porter sitting on the front row tonight as well. These mile and a half, these intermediates, Atomic Autosport just has something figured out. And with Love It Motorsports in that technical alliance now with Atomic, there's 4 cars to worry about if you are Cat Devil Racing, Team Impulse, or Red Bull Highlight Racing up near the front of the field. Because of the cancellation of the second race in Chicago, we moved here to Chicagoland. The results, therefore, still stood. The drivers that failed to qualify for the street course in Chicago didn't get a chance to qualify here at Chicagoland. And the results still influenced the starting grid tonight. So the top 10 from last week's race in the street circuits of Chicago is inverted here tonight. So Kozlov will lead us under green. And what a dangerous car to have at the front of the field here tonight. Only one practice session, too. So very critical here to start off strong. Everyone only had an hour to practice. Typically, they have a little bit closer to 2 hours to get some practice done. That was not the case here this weekend, with everything being more impromptu and last minute. Very abbreviated weekend so far. 38,000 in attendance here at Chicagoland is how we will get things started here tonight. Again, 30 cars. Standard procedure for tracks like Chicagoland, like Homestead, Miami, like Texas. Going to be exciting all the way through, just like what we've seen so far this season at Homestead, at Texas, at Nashville even. Will be the last few opportunities to do well on an oval before we head to a bunch of road courses, Valkenburg and Monza, dominating the next month here on ABN and here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series. We're moments away from the command to fire engine, so we will send it trackside for those famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
There was the command again. 30 cars on track tonight. Team Impulse, Atomic, Cherokee, Cat Devil Racing, Red Bull Highlight Racing, all of them going to try to slug it out here over 200 miles, 300 laps at the Chicagoland circuit. We were here 2 years ago in 2021. Hazel DeCass won that race. Sakura Ishibashi was on pole. The car Sakura got pole position in, now leads the way. What kind of fate befalls the field of 30 cars here tonight? Very unique mile-and-a-half circuit. Curved on the back straightaway means you're turning constantly. It's a little bit more physical than the likes of Texas or Homestead. Some drivers welcome that challenge. We're going to find out who welcomes it the most in just a moment. Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 pace car will take the hard left. And now it's the drivers to their own devices. For the 10th time this season, the green flag flies and we're racing in Chicagoland. And immediately a peek to the inside by Takani. Look a little further down, 3 wide. That's Glover to look into the inside at Kobayashi. Whoa, trouble further back. That is big trouble. Wyatt Jones, Kuni Kinoshita, Asada Kito, Astra Crane, Maria Damata on the opening lap. And we're under caution immediately. But trouble for Astra Crane and Maria Damata. A little bit of damage there for Wyatt Jones and Kuni Kinoshita. And a lot of deja vu now, especially for Lexa Kinoshita, who did not have a good race at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. In comes Marcus Petrovic. But chaos in the opening volley. A couple cars coming in for service that were not involved. That's Katrina Ochoa. And that is BK Glover coming in for service. But they were ahead of the incident that happened there. Because where Kinoshita definitely was not. Neither was Wyatt Jones. They were in it fully. So was Maria Damata, who's come down pit lane. Meanwhile, you look at the opening lap, Joliet Tagani, the rookie for Cherokee GP, has moved to the front of the field. It's Takani, then Nicole Lechty. Artyom Kozlov in third ahead of Evangeline Porter. Both of them fell off the front row and now sit third and fourth. Natalia Belisevic, who won the last mile-and-a-half race at Homestead, sitting in the top 5. Then it's Valerie Fang, Sakura Ishibashi. Then you have Thomas Rogers. There is the 96 of Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Then you see the 11 of Elise Alexander. Then you have Kage Kobayashi, who was just in the midst of the incident there. Asada Kito feels like he can stay out as well, despite getting a piece of the incident between Wyatt Jones and Maria Damata. So some drivers going to risk it for the biscuit and stay out of here. As we look up further down, Wyatt Jones catching up there. There's Kenosha, still significantly wounded, pancaked into the outside wall. This is going to be another very rough race. Damata still in pit lane. There's Ochoa. There is Petrovic and Glover, all sitting at the back of the field, having come in for service of some variety. Kenosha will tag on to the back of the field, but this could be a very long race for Kenosha after the first lap. One car officially out. That would be Astrid Crane from the incident. Technically 29 cars still running. Maria D'Amato looks like they're going to try to get that 14 machine back out. Still lights on the Chevrolet Camaro Z01 pace car. We went caution free last weekend in the streets of Chicago. One lap in, we're already under caution here in Joliet. So here we go. Coming to the green flag here. As we get ready to roll. Pace car is in. And green flag is back out and away we go. And already movement at the front. Takani now with mirrors full of cars. Here comes Lechty. Lechty gets by with ease. And there's Velicevic not far behind as well. Now racing underway. Wow, hold on. That is very intense driving there. That was Rogers that got below the white line. Still 3 wide as Kozlov goes through. There's Kurachenko from the back of the field to the front. Sadakita's still in the mix as well. That's the 86 machine. Keep an eye on that car because there was a little bit of contact from that lap 1 incident. There's Bianca Lucero making her way forward. Michelin trying to make his way forward as well. Kobayashi's dropped backwards. Remember, he finished where he started the last week's race at Chicago. But this team's not had oval pace, so he dropped back pretty quickly. There's Glover back in the mix after chopping off with fuel on the early run. There's Elise Alexander who dropped backwards as well. Then you have the 36 of Ochoa. There's Von Sohn and Cameron Jackson. Kenosha's moved back forward, having gotten significant repairs. Then there's LaRoe, there's Hobson, and the 21 of Petrovic. Wyatt Jones holding on as well. No one significantly off pace here. Just 2 cars out, Crane and D'Amata, with 28 cars still running. On lap 11, it is Takani leading Porter in this battle for 3rd place, with Velicevic moving through, as will Kozlov back to 4th. So Lechty down to 5th. Then it's Kovacevic and Ishibashi in the top 7. Kurachenko, Rogers, and Quito make up the top 10 as of that last lap. But Quito immediately dropped backwards behind. Rex Riley moving their way forward. And the 16 of Valerie Fang. Inside lanes, the place to be here in Chicagoland. Ishibashi trying to move forward, cautions out, and a huge crash. Cameron Jackson and Kobayashi. So those two are linked. Significant damage to Kobayashi's machine. What happened here to Cameron Jackson? Side by side with Kobayashi, trying to make inroads here on Von Sonnen. Oh, and Kobayashi just runs right into him. And both of them go for a tumble. Not good at all. Again, keep an eye on this. This is coming into turn one, and Kobayashi just drives down, not realizing Jackson's checking up there. And Jackson spends a long time upside down. So, Takani continues to lead the way. Just had a pit stop there. Felicevich moves to second. Then it's Ishibashi. There is Lekti. There is Kovalkiewicz. Then Rex Riley moving up the order as well through that pit stop. There's Porter. Then you have the 20 of Draco. So Andrew Draco's going to move forward by a significant margin up into the top 10. 8th place for Andrew Draco, Valerie Fang in 9th, Bianca Lucero in 10th is where they sit right now. There is Valerie Fang. And you have Bianca Lucero. Mateus Michelin sitting outside the top 10 in 11th place. Thomas Rogers in 12th. Kamaya in 13th. Keisha Fox 14th. Asada Quito in 15th. Glover's made his way up to the top half, almost. 16th place for him so far. Kozlov, the biggest loser so far, down to 17th for them. Von Sonnen up to 18th. Hobson in 19th. Alexander, Ochoa, and Petrovic top 22. 4 cars out. Kobayashi and Jackson join the retirement list here on the opening 17 laps of this race. And under caution for the second time tonight for an incident between Kage Kobayashi and Cameron Jackson. That saw both cars go up and over and into retirement. Showtime once again. Lights out on the Chevrolet Camaro Z01 pace car. It's Joliet Takani, the rookie, that'll lead us to green. Takani, Filicevic, Ishibashi, and Lechty. Top four in this field. Through the restart zone, green flag back in the air. We're underway once again. And Filicevic immediately looks low. And trouble. That was Kovalevich that got a little bit loose on the inside there and backed up the entire rest of the field. Riley on the inside lane showing some moxie in that 72 machine, hanging on to the top six at the moment as things stand. Everyone hooking on to that white line as much as possible, some stepping over it and finding themselves in trouble. Right now at the front of the field, it is Natalia Filicevic leading the way with Sakura Ishibashi and Joliet Takani in tow. Ishibashi was on podium here. Last time we were here, finished in second place in between Hazel DeCass and Siri Lundquist. Right now, a little bit of a breakaway forming between this top three. Takani looks to the inside of Ishibashi. Ishibashi gets the door shut. Filicevic leads. Back of the field, you see there's BK Glover. Everyone's shuffling around a little bit. Glover was as high as 16th. Was making his way through, but is now slotted all the way back through as some of the drivers that had damage earlier, Kinoshita and Jones, they have gotten themselves repaired to enough of a point where they can start battling again. Petrovich looked to the inside of Keisha Fox, clipped the white line, and lost all the momentum on the exit there. And now Petrovich is under threat from Michelin. He was all too welcome to invite the close quarters racing. That Trekker Motorsports car in the top 10 in points. Would love to get a little bit further and not where he wants to be so far. Michelin down in the 20th position at the moment. Not a great time for him. There is Artyom Kozlov making their way forward, trying to get around Esther Hobson, who started this race dead last, 30th in the field. Anything better than last week in Hobson's mind, and so far doing a fantastic job. They're basically taking on a last the first challenge. Kozlov getting around, chasing down now the 86 of Asada Quito. On their way towards the top 10, there is Thomas Rogers. Rogers in the 9th position in the top 10 ahead of Andrew Draco, who is in the 10th spot. Valerie Fang still being held up by Rex Riley, who is showing up in force so far tonight in the early going of this race. Further up the field, Ishibashi's been shuffled out of the top three and down in 5th. Alicia Kovalevich looks to make her way forward. Filicevic leads the way. Then it's Takani, Kovalevich, Lechty. Then you have Ishibashi and Porter. Ishibashi started this race in 9th. Porter started 2nd. There's Riley in 7th. leading a pair of drivers on a pair of teams that have dominated the headlines in 2023. Again, Riley holding off Valerie Feng at the moment. But at the front of the field, it's Felicevich looking for a second race win as a rookie in this series. Told you Atomic Autosport had a phenomenal package. And that has been the case. Two of their cars in the top 6 at the moment. Wyatt Jones, despite being wounded, also making his way through the field. The 3-time NAMRA Cup Series champion. All the way back up to 22nd. Make our way forward here. There's Kenosha around the tail end. Wyatt Jones has fallen backwards a little bit more here, down to 24th, as the ebb and flow continues here. Again, just how much damage was received by the 25 and the 18, and what does that do to the long run pace of those cars? There is Simona Leroux in the 77 behind Bianca Lucero, the rookie driver, taking in as much as possible here. There is Glover ahead of Kamaya. Sorry, Kamaya ahead of Glover. Glover trying to fix my mistake for me, trying to get ahead of Kamaya, and will do so through turns 1 and 2 there. But both of them held up by Keisha Fox in that Arasaka number 62 machine. Fox trying to catch up to Natalia Kurachenko. Kurachenko behind Petrovic. Petrovic making his way forward. Petrovic now closer to the top half of the field. Petrovic sitting in the 17th position at the moment. Not a bad run so far for the 21 machine that has not had a lot of oval running pace so far this season. As Michelin in the top half is marked by the McDonald's 86 of Asada Quito. Von Sonnen up to 14th at the moment behind Elise Alexander. Then you have Esther Hobson on the verge of the top 10, sitting in 12th at the moment. Thomas Rogers outside the top 10 in 11th behind Andrew Draco. But everyone's sort of broken up into tandems here. Felicevich leads out front. Kovacevic has gotten ahead of a rookie teammate. Takani sits top 3. Right now, it's all good and golden at the front of the field. We've had 2 early cautions, 4 retirements: Kobayashi, Jackson, Crane, and Damata. But now we are underway and in earnest. Takani sitting in the top 3 at the moment. A good run so far. Porter's made her way back to the 4th position. Porter possesses one of the longer running droughts from her last win. She last won in 2016 at the Euro Speedway Lausitzring. Approaching 8 years since she's last won in the Champ Car World Series. She's journeyed around the United States a little bit. Moved to the NAMRA Cup Series for a couple seasons. So she hasn't been exclusively here for a little bit. But she's still looking for a chance to get that race win. She's had podiums. Just hasn't gotten those race wins yet. Her protege right behind her has. Nicole Lechty. It's been several years under Porter's tutelage. Now sitting top 5, won the season opener Phillip Island as Kovalkiewicz. Speaking of winless routes, Kovalkiewicz back to the front. Last one at Toronto in 2017, swept the doubleheader week that year. And now out front ahead of Vulicevic. Top 4 clustering themselves together again. This is very much a momentum-based racetrack. Very easy to lose momentum and have to build it back up again. Kovalkiewicz made the most of her momentum and got to the front of the field. Lechty in 5th. Then it's Ishibashi in 6th. Kozlov's gotten around Rex Riley. So the reigning Indianapolis 500 winner is moved up into the 7th position. Riley in 8th. Valerie Fang in 9th. 10th place is where you'll see the battle right now between Thomas Rogers and Andrew Draco. Draco sitting right now in the 11th spot behind Rogers, ahead of Asada Quito. Esther Hofson continues her ascent from last on the grid, currently now 13th place. Then it's Von Sonnen and Alexander, top half of the field. Petrovic in 16th, 17th is Michelin, 18th is where you'll find BK Glover. And then there's a gap all the way down to Simona Leroux, Natalia Kurachenko, Keisha Fox, Bianca Lucero, Kuna Kinoshita, Wyatt Jones, Shinichi Kamaya, and Katrina Ochoa. Vulicevic back out up front ahead of Kovalkiewicz. They keep swapping the position back and forth. 4 drivers have led laps so far in this race. Vulicevic has led the most, 21 so far. Kovalkiewicz has led 4, Takani's led 13, Nicole Lechty's led 4. Vulicevic very comfortable out up front of the field right now. This race is spreading out a little bit. It's Atomic Autosport 1-2, then Cherokee GP 3 and 4. Top 5 still pretty well clustered together before you go all the way down towards 6th place, where now you'll see Kozlov and Ishibashi fighting for it. Kozlov charging forward. Kozlov gets around Ishibashi with relative ease as the 3 car tries to now make a run to try to get to the top 5. That's going to be a significant gap to overcome, having to overcome 4.5 seconds. Riley peeks to the inside. Not close enough to anything to Ishibashi this time through. Here goes Hobson around Quito. And that is 4/10. So Esther Hofson up to the 11th spot. Incredible stuff so far for Hofson. Actually, no, Hofson up to 10th. Ahead of Quito. Draco's fallen backwards a little bit, as high as 9th place for Draco. Now sitting in the 14th position. As Petrovic falls backwards. Petrovic now back behind Michelin, ahead of Elise Alexander. And obviously still a mountain away from this cluster here. So for the drivers that were involved in the first incident, obviously they've lost a little bit of pace, but they're not dangerously slow because they're not even the last cars on the track at the moment. That'd be Ochoa and Kamaya at the moment, who are the last 2 cars on the track. They are sort of the buffer zone, if you will. Alyssa continues to lead the way, comfortably ahead of her teammate. Eva Porter sitting in 2nd. Then it's Kovacevic, and Lechty has gotten ahead of Takani. Or had. Now Takani's back ahead of Lechty as those 2 trade spots. Again, 4 cars out. Kobayashi, Jackson, Crane, and Damata. Watching this battle for 4th place. And there is Artyom Kozlov trying to charge back forward. And it is in vain because Kozlov is still losing time to the race leader. Vulicevic has been the barnstormer pace so far. The fastest driver that lap was Kovacevic. 26.947 or 201 mile an hour lap. Kozlov just trying to find some pace here to make things work. Kovacevic is still setting 200 mile an hour laps. The only driver to do so at the moment. The leaders aren't even doing that right now. And Kovacevic is in a really good spot too. Right there, right to the tail of Porter. Just hooking into that draft. Last time around, see what the lap times look like there. Yeah, it looked pretty positive there for Kovacevic. Still faster than leaders. So she is closing in. Kovacevic trying to close in. Again, setting barnstorming laps at the moment, but this is a track where everyone trimmed out a lot. Not a lot of downforce on these cars. These are basically Indianapolis 500 cars that were brought back in for this race because of how close everything is to Indianapolis. So there's not a lot of downforce in these cars. So as quick as you are in the drafts, you lose all of it and more in the corners here. But the gap is closed. Top 3 within 3/4 of a second. little bit further back, Esterhofsen in the top 10 at the moment. With an arm's distance to the Armada, the cavalry. Rogers, Quito, Glover, Von Sonen, Draco, Petrovic, Michelin, and Alexander in that cluster. And then even further back, you have to go find Kurachenko, Leroux. There's Wyatt Jones, Kenny Kinoshita, Keisha Fox. There is Bianca Lucero, who's falling backwards. As lap traffic has befallen the race leaders. They got caught up behind. That was Katrina Ochoa, who will be the first car to go officially one lap down on track. And now Kamaya will be easily the next. But not without checking up Vilicevic. And Porter's going to look to make a move on her teammate. Looking for her 10th career champ car win. Has not won in 8 years. Does it happen tonight? She's got to take on her teammates to make it happen. Kovalkiewicz penned behind Kamaya for a little bit. Allows these two to break away. Kovalkiewicz breaks through. Vilicevic says game on, and the teammates will battle. And they battle just enough for Kovalkiewicz to come back into this fight. Vilicevic back out in front. Porter trying to hang in there with her teammate. Kovalkiewicz likewise charging forward. Porter the slowest of the three. And stuck in the middle. Vilicevic's last lap on 193.871 compared to Porter's 194.785 and Kovalkiewicz's 195.1. That is the average speed difference between the three at the moment, and Vilicevic is the slowest of the bunch, as you'd imagine. Leading the train. Third car about to go a lap down, that is Bianca Lucero. Still a 1-2-3 at the moment. Lucero up next. We had two cautions early in this race, so that resulted in 4 cars being out. Since then, it's been a very quickly paced race. It's been phenomenal in the race speed category here. Kurachenko sitting right now in the 19th position. Still a pretty decent distance away from this driver right here, two-time world champion Andrew Draco. Rex rallying a little bit of an island there, sitting in 9th place. That was Glover in 10th. And Haaston battling with Thomas Rogers behind them. Ishibashi's falling back as well in 8th place, now behind Valerie Fang, who has moved through with Artyom Kozlov as those two try to tag along with each other at the moment. Takani likewise has lost a little bit of time to Lechty, who's lost pace with this top 3. Vlicevic, then it's Kovalkiewicz and Porter. Kovalkiewicz now the car in the middle. Porter now 3rd in line. See how the pace fares. For Kovalkiewicz looking strong at the moment. There can be swept pit stops that take place here in a matter of laps. We're beginning to lose touch here with Kovalkiewicz. And this will be interesting. Keisha Fox, next car to go a lap down. A little bit of apprehension there by Vlicevic, trying to figure out how to get around. I don't think Fox will be too awful difficult here. And in comes Fox. So pit stops happening for some of the cars further back. Under green for the first time. Pit stops underway. And in comes Vlicevic. Kovalkiewicz now leads. Vlicevic in pit lane. How long does Kovalkiewicz and Porter stay out? Do they come in imminently? They do. So Lechty will now inherit the race lead. Getting some more lead changes in here at Chicagoland. Lechty's ready to come here momentarily as well. Coming out of pit lane, that is the 21 of Petrovic. Oh, Lechty stays out. Lechty stays out another lap here. Very interesting for Lechty. More cars coming out. That's Draker coming out of pit lane. Von Sonen, Michelin coming out of pit lane as well. And Lechty stays out again. Here comes Keisha Fox and Andrew Draco. As Lechty continues to stay out and lead laps here. Very interesting strategy car right now. Only 2 cars have stayed out at this point, and that's Lecty and Kenosha. About to get the lap back is Vlisovic. There's Vlisovic right now as Lecty comes in. Vlisovic will take a lap back and should inherit the race lead here by the time all the pit stop cycles are said and done. Simona Leroux will be stuck 1 lap down with Alexander next to go a lap down by Vlisovic's hand. Vlisovic back to the lead. And it is a healthy margin back to Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Ryan Kozlov should inherit 3rd position because there's Kozlov and Porter, with Kurachenko between Porter and Valerie Fang. Kenosha, hold on. Kenosha just held up Wow. Kenosha held up Natalia Kurachenko and Valerie Fang. Holds up her disgruntled teammate as well. Wow. Talk about a shuffle. Kurachenko now to the point. And I think Kenosha's not yet pit. No, Kenosha's not yet pit. Wow. Kenosha still running out on track, led some laps as a result of that, got a bonus point for that. But because of that, was not subject to blue flag rules. So Kovalkiewicz now leads the way over Kozlov and Porter because Kenosha held up Vlisovic and Valerie Fang. Wild stuff for Kenosha, the defending world champion, bringing in some chaos. Kovalkiewicz now leads. Next car to go a lap down will be Elise Alexander in 20th. Kovalkiewicz has not won since Toronto 2017. And right now sits in a really good spot to make it happen. Wide open battle at the front of the field. Kovalkiewicz, Porter, Kozlov, Fang, Takani. Vlisovic dropped all the way down to 6th place after leading 55 of the first 91 laps. And there goes Kenosha down pit lane. The earful you're going to hear about Kenosha from Vlisovic is going to be immense. Kovalkiewicz leads by 1.6 over Porter. 2 lap cars in between for Porter and for Kozlov to try to navigate. We're trying to find our way around Leroux and Alexander. And it's holding up Kozlov as well. And Kozlov in third, Valerie Fang in fourth. Then you see Joliet Takani. Vulicevic shaken and rattled pretty well. Now sitting in the sixth position and has not made any significant inroads. Then you have to go further and further down. There is Ishibashi in seventh. And then a further 5 seconds adrift is where you'll find this battle for the top 10. That's Glover in eighth, or was. Now it's Lecty in eighth, Riley in ninth, Glover in 10th. Rogers in 11th. And it's Michelin in Hofson, 12th and 13th. Von Sonnen in 14th. Top half of the field is marked by Marcus Petrovic for Vontae Racing. There is Quito. There's Fox. Draco. Who have all gone a lap down to Kovacevic. Quito next on the list to go a lap down. Kovacevic has found some pace and has uncorked it. Looking to the inside of Quito to put Quito a lap down. Will do so here. And now it's going to be even harder for the likes of Porter and for Kozlov to get through, because that is 5 cars now battling amongst each other, with another battle for position in between. Draco, Quito, Fox, Leroux, and Alexander all battling for the same position, as Porter and Kozlov have to try to battle through them to get closer to Kovacevic. Kovacevic is clear. Porter defending from Kozlov. Kozlov under threat now from, that is Leroux. And second and third being held up by lap traffic. Keisha Fox there, very important. The other Cherokee GP car did not fight her teammate at all, is fighting Porter and Kozlov. Team dynamics are important, and wow, Fox defends the inside lane. Porter straddled that white line, almost lost the car. So a massive hold up there, worth half a second. Kozlov gets to the inside lane. And Kozlov will get through. Kozlov has to get through a couple more cars to try to reel in Kovacevic. Over 2 seconds now the gap. There should be one more green flag pit stop stint in this race, if things continue as they are. Vulicevic sitting in the 4th position at the moment in points. Will still gain on the championship leader, but is frustrated right now to not have any inroads to try to get back to the front of the field as things currently stand. Need to try to strategize your way through that. Tonight's going to be a good night for Porter to get back within 2 races of the championship lead if things hold. Kenosha down in 26th position will only score 6 points. Porter, as things hold on, will score 36 points. So good numbers to reel back in. Kozlov trying to make some inroads here. 2.3 seconds is the gap. Kozlov, center of your screen. Ahead of Leroux. As things sit right now, Kozlov would pull right back to Kenosha within 15 points. Kozlov has yet to lead a lap in this race. Slowly chipping away at Kovalkiewicz. Kovalkiewicz just got around. That is Marcus Petrovic, the 21 machine, to put Vonta Racing's only remaining runner a lap down. 15th now a lap down. Next car in line would be the 76 of Von Sonnen for Kunifikita. Kovalkiewicz continues to lead. Kozlov is faster, but only just. Takani down around Porter for third. So Takani looking for her first podium if she can get it. Porter gets around Quito here, but Porter down to fourth place. And then you see Valerie Fang in the mix. There is Velicevic. There is Ishibashi, that's Lecty. There's Kenosha getting through. There is Thomas Rogers in 9th, BK Glover in 10th at the moment as things currently run. It's a car between Von Sonnen and Kovalkiewicz. That would be the 36 of Ochoa. Ochoa about to go 2 laps down. How quickly does Kovalkiewicz get around Ochoa? Have to assume pretty quickly here. Lost a little bit of time there through 1 and 2. But gets through 3 and 4 here. Kovalkiewicz dispatched Ochoa and got right to the gearbox of Von Sonnen. Kovalkiewicz has expanded the gap now that Kozlov has also had to deal with Ochoa. And for those just now tuning in, we have 80 laps to go here in Chicagoland. 4 cars out in the early opening 20 laps here. Kobayashi, Jackson, Crane, and D'Amata all out. Kovalkiewicz leads over Artem Kozlov. Joliet Takani, Evangeline Porter, and Valerie Fang make up the top 5. Most laps led so far by Natalia Velisevich, 55, 121 laps. Kovalkiewicz, though, on the run to try to get the most laps led. Kovalkiewicz has never won on an oval in the Champ Car World Series. Won 2 races, both races in the doubleheader at Toronto in 2017. Has not won since. Again, has not won on an oval. Got it, Artem Kozlov, the reigning Indianapolis 500 winner, trying to gain in and try to continue that winless streak, as Kozlov looks for their 3rd win. Likewise, Evangeline Porter's winless drought looks set to continue, dating back to 2016. US Speedway Lausitz, her last win. One of the closest finishes in Champ Car history in a side-by-side battle with Jesus Cristobal in that fight. Valerie Fang still looking for her 1st win. Velisevich was looking set and poised for a second until being held up by lap traffic. Now down in 6th place and struggling to make any inroads. Lechty in 7th. Then Ishibashi, Glover, and Rogers round out the top 10 as things sit at the moment. Next car to go a lap down will be Esther Hobson, who started this race in dead last. Has made it all the way to the 13th. Phenomenal run. Hobson actually just went a lap down to Kovalkiewicz. I want to go a lap down to Kozlov, center of your screen. Pit window is 62 laps. They last pit on lap 79. So we're expecting another round of pit stops about lap 140 to get us to the end of the race. Kozlov trying to make some inroads here, but it's stalled out significantly. And still at least one more green flag pit stop stint. Pit stops have not been kind to Kozlov in this race so far. Lost a lot of positions in the pit stop under yellow, and had to crawl forward from 17th on that restart to get back to the top 5. And the last set of green flag pit stops set Kozlov back even further. They've not been great for Kozlov tonight. They need this money stop to be fantastic, and here they come, coming in early. Oh, this is going to be interesting. In comes Kozlov, here in comes Takani. Kovalkiewicz stays out an extra lap here. And Kovalkiewicz stays out one more lap as well. As well, it looks like Porter. Smart thinking by Kozlov to take advantage of the undercut here, because there will be a significant undercut. And in comes Kovalkiewicz this time. So we get to see now where everyone turns out. There is Kozlov. Where does Kozlov end up in relation to Kovalevich at the front of the field? Second round of pit stops underway. Porter leading pit lane now. Did Kozlov have a quick enough pit lap? Pit lane, a very busy pace, a perpetually busy place. There's Hofson. Where is Alicia Kovalevich? Where's the Polish Eagle? Right there. This is for the race lead. Kozlov got it. But immediately gets held up by Wyatt Jones. There's the Connie as well. Ooh, this guy, oh, trouble! Jones and Kozlov, hard crash, caution's out. A huge crash will reset everything. An enormous crash. Caution has come out. Kurchenko is the race leader. And this resets everything. Kurchenko had not yet come down pit lane. Gets to take a free pit stop here and stay on the lead lap as a result. But a huge crash for the third caution of this race will reset the field. Joliet Takani will lead this race now. 3 cars ahead. See if they come down pit lane or not. That's Shinichi Kamaya, Bianca Lucero, and Kinemitsu Kinoshita. And an enormous crash resets everything, with what will be coming to 60 laps to go. Artem Kozlov battling for the race lead. Try to get around Wyatt Jones, who is fighting to stay on the lead lap. Both made contact and crashed heavily in turns 1 and 2. Kamaya and Kinoshita come down pit lane. Starting lap 135 out of 200 here. Confirm Kozlov and Jones out of this race. They will be evaluated by the infield medical center here in Joliet. Lights stay on the pace car for another lap. The Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 leading the field for the 3rd time tonight. Lucero will try to get back on the lead lap. Actually, just trying to stay a 1 lap down and not 2. Already a lap down here. It is Takani, Kovalevich, Porter, Vulisevich, Fang, Lekti, Ishibashi, Rogers, Riley, Glover, Michelin, Kurachenko top 12, all of them on the lead lap. Von Sonnen, Kenoshta, Hofson, Leroux, Quito, Draco, Alexander, Fox, Kamaya, and Petrovic, top 22. Then Lucero and Ochoa round out the 24 cars still running in this field. Scary accident for the third caution of the night involving three-time NAMRA Cup Series champion Wyatt Jones and the defending Indianapolis 500 winner Artyom Kozlov. Has now put a giant wrinkle into the race here tonight. We spent 120 laps caution-free. It's been a very quick race overall. But now we're out to see a little bit of pandemonium. Pace car takes the left into pit lane. For the third restart tonight, Takani leads. Kovalkiewicz, Porter. And away we go. And immediately Porter looks to the inside of Kovalkiewicz. Takani looks to the inside of Lucero. Porter will try to make it three, will make it three momentarily. Lucero backed out of it. Porter gets to the front of the field. Several drivers looking for the first win or looking to break a drought. There's Valerie Fang making her way forward. And the Cherokee GP cars have been skunked on this restart. Kovalkiewicz gets down in front of Hofson and stops the bleeding. Trouble for Velicevic, who is mired deep in traffic. Porter leads and has a decent buffer in the process, but there is Leroux, who will try to get a lap back. And then there's Valerie Fang. Fang, the disgruntled Cat Devil Racing driver, becoming a free agent, would love a win on the way out to boost her profile. Looks to the inside, will force her way around the lap car of Leroux. But here comes Takani and Kovalkiewicz. The cavalry has arrived and it's powered by Alpine. They all get through. A little bit further back, there is Casada Quito. There is Velicevic and Ishibashi trying to get around. Then there's Rogers in the two. Battles are over, both on the lead lap and one lap down. Everyone trying to slice and dice their way through. Porter is ahead of Fang, Takani, and Kovalkiewicz. How long does it last? Top four all back and in a bundle. Kovalkiewicz is ahead of Takani. And Kovalkiewicz now on the tail end of Valerie Fang. And Kovalkiewicz will waste no time going after the 16. Fang to the outside. Kovalkiewicz to the inside lane. And Kovalkiewicz gets through. And now lap cars will follow through. Pandemonium here. There is Vulicevic back in the mix. The Coca-Cola Zero Sugar machine. Lap traffic playing havoc so far. That was Leroux and Draco getting ahead of Kovalkiewicz and company. And there's Sadakito making his way in the mix as well. Fang stuck in the background. Now that's Keto and Draco going at it. And Keto went below the white line to try to stick it. Those two battling. That is for 14th place that they're fighting for at the moment. And Keto will get the best of it. Keep an eye on this battle for the race lead. Porter leads over Kovalkiewicz to the longer winless droughts currently ongoing. Porter and Kovalkiewicz getting closer and closer. It's that ever narrowing gap between the 81 and the 96. Leroux, the first car a lap down, in the midst as well. Leroux sits 13th in position. Just would like a lap back in case things get haywire again. We've already seen 3 cautions in this race. There goes Kovalkiewicz looking for the race lead. To the inside, Kovalkiewicz goes and makes it happen, and now Leroux will follow suit. Best case scenario for the 96. But here comes Natalia Vulicevic. Vulicevic not out of this fight either. Neither is Takani in the 69 car. Fang is dropped down to 5th. Ishibashi's in 6th. Then it's Rogers, Riley, Kurachenko, and Lekti top 10. Porter trying to find a way around Leroux. Looks to the inside. Will try to force her way through here, but it will slow them up more and allows Kovalkiewicz to try to drive away more. .44 laps to go. And Porter drops down now behind Valerie Fang. Vlisevich back out in front of Takani, but Takani will add pressure. 3 teams at the front. Cherokee GP looking for a 1-2, then it's Atomic. And Cat Devil Racing in the mix as well, with Fang and Ishibashi. And there's Leroux, stirring the pot. And that's 77 for Red Bull Highlight Racing. There goes Valerie Fang on Vlisevich. We are in an all-out sprint to the finish. Do they have enough fuel to make it? They're on the very edge of that fuel window. Zooming out from a distance as Vlisevich takes back the position on Valerie Fang. And Porter will follow suit as well to move Fang back down to the 5th position. It is Kovalkiewicz to Connie, then Vlisevich and Porter, then Fang and Ishibashi. Teammates 1st and 2nd, teammates 3rd and 4th, teammates 5th and 6th. Vlisevich trying to make inroads there. Leroux looked like she was going to try to pass Takani, but that ended up not making any headwind there. Takani closed it off there in 3 and 4. 40 laps to go, 39 laps to go now. As the laps tick away, Kovalkiewicz holds on to the race lead, has not won in almost 7 years. Evangeline Porter's not won in almost 8 years. That's the droughts that are going on. That's what's in the balance right now. Takani in her 4th start, looking to join some of the greats that have gotten wins in their first 5 starts. A lot of champions on that list. Is Takani going to be one of them? Vlisevich, already a race winner this season, won at Homestead. Would love another 1.5 mile win to add to that portfolio in a rookie campaign. In a race where the reigning world champion can do no better right now than 20th. And where the main adversary is out of this race in 26th. There's a strong chance to mix the order up. Vlisevich wants a piece of it. Porter wants a piece of it. Leroux wants to keep her chances alive to get back on the lead lap. But the more that they fight, the better it is for Kovalkiewicz out front. And Kovalkiewicz is hoping that this continues for the next 36 laps. Again, Leroux, the pink and blue car, center of your screen, a lap down the first car, 1 lap down in 13th. The likelihood of us seeing another car go a lap down without help is slim to none. 12th place right now, BK Glover for Panasonic Team Impulse. Rex Riley in 11th and Michelin in 10th. A lot of fast cars in the top 12 is what we have left after the 3rd caution of the race took out Wyatt Jones and Artem Kozlov. Do they have enough fuel, though? That is the paramount question. Kovalkiewicz is driving away. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Almost the equivalent of 1.5 miles per hour. 202.4 to 200.2 miles an hour is the last lap speed that these two drivers had. LaRoe continues to be a roadblock for Vulicevic. Porter's gotten around Takani. Takani sits ahead of Valerie Fang. Valerie Fang sitting right ahead of her teammate. There is Sakura Ishibashi, who stays at the tail end of this. Whether or not Ishibashi can add much to the fight is an interesting question. But right now, Ishibashi's got a chance. Pit stops right now happening. That is the 76 of Von Cernan has come down pit lane. So some drivers have conceded that they are not going to make it on fuel, so they've come down already. Do we see other drivers do that as well? Very possible here. There's another car coming down pit lane. Who is it? That is Ishibashi. So Sakura Ishibashi's come down pit lane, as has Thomas Rogers. They're in pit lane now. So in comes BK Glover. So some of the leaders are coming in. Kovalkiewicz stays out. Vulicevic stays out. So will Porter. So will Fang. How the tides change. Takani's in. Several cars in. Very busy pit lane at the moment. Lechty's in. Riley's in. Kovalkiewicz stays out once more. Kovalkiewicz leads. The Polish Eagle sits out front ahead of Vulicevic. Pit stops, it seems like, are incoming in the next few laps. Kovalkiewicz comes in now. Porter will make her way in. Money stops here in Chicagoland and Joliet. There's Ishibashi. Ishibashi's gotten ahead of Takani. So if things sit as they are right now, Ishibashi could be in the top 5. The question is where? There is Vulicevic, who will also drop behind Ishibashi. Ishibashi had a fantastic pit stop. Does it hold for the next 26 laps? We're going to find out. Takani, Vulicevic, Ishibashi, all in range. There's Porter, who will drop out of the top 5. But they will not catch up to Kovalkiewicz, who comes out completely clear. In comes, I believe that was Alexander. It was Alexander that comes down pit lane. Pit lane still busy. Ishibashi on the run, trying to make a run at Kovalkiewicz. Vulicevic in third. Everything to play for here in the last 25 laps. Kovalkiewicz leads. Center of your screen is Ishibashi, Vulicevic, and Takani. What we assume is about to be the battle for the podium places. LaRoe is in and out of pit lane behind this group. They will no longer be a factor. Takani to the inside of Vulicevic. Tried to make a 2-for-1, did not happen. Ishibashi closed the door. But could not close the door there. That was close. Down the front straightaway. Kurachenko has led a couple laps here, staying off sequence, but not going to be a factor in the remainder of this race. Kurachenko actually came down pit lane, so 100% is now back in the hands of Kovalkiewicz. It is Kovalkiewicz, Ishibashi, Takani, Kurachenko, Velicevic. That's how it was last time across the line. Velicevic will get around Ishibashi and move Ishibashi off the podium. Takani trying to make it a 1-2 for Cherokee GP. Can they do it? Velicevic in third, Ishibashi down to fourth, then it's Rogers, Porter, and Fang. The battle rages on. Kovalkiewicz has a 1.7 second advantage over a rookie teammate. Velicevic sits in third, 2 seconds adrift to Kovalkiewicz. She's got to not only get around Takani, but then sprint towards Kovalkiewicz to have a chance to win this race. Six years, 11 months ago, the world has experienced and exposed to the talent of Alicia Kovalkiewicz when she swept the doubleheader in Toronto in 2017. A month away from being exactly 7 years, Kovalkiewicz leads, looking for her first win on an oval. And her first win is coming back from a terrifying crash at the Lausitz Ring in 2020. Takani looks to separate herself from Velicevic here and make a statement here at Chicagoland. Less than 20 laps to go in Joliet. Kovalkiewicz leads by 2 seconds. Velicevic has dropped down almost a second off of Takani, trying to make a surge again here. 2.3 the gap that last lap. 2.8 from Velicevic to Kovalkiewicz. Ishibashi finished this race second in 2021, the last time we were here at Chicagoland. Looking to get back on the podium, looking for another positive result when there has been very few this season. A season of growing pains for Ishibashi for Cat Double Racing. Evangeline Porter, that winless drought spanning 8 years, will wait at least one race longer. Porter sits in the top 5 at the moment, but 5th will probably be the best she can do at the moment without divine intervention. Frantic lap times here. Coming to 15 laps to go. Kovalkiewicz has put Glover a lap down. But Glover still sits well ahead of Leroux. For Glover, this is going to be a salvaging event at the moment as things stand. Again, sitting at 7 seconds clear of Leroux with 15 laps to go and counting. As Kovalkiewicz now finds difficulty in getting around Kenosha, who was also on the lead lap, somehow got on the lead lap. But we'll go a lap down here and we'll lose a spot. Glover up to 12th. Glover in the shadows of Kovalkiewicz will try to pick up more positions Next car up will be Kurichenko, and that will be a stretch here, coming to 11 laps to go. Again, Kovalevich has the lead of this race at the moment. Takani in second, Velicevic in third. Then it's Porter and Ishibashi fourth and fifth. Porter will deny Ishibashi's chance at a podium here in Chicago. Glover up to 12. Kurichenko, the next car, the last car on the lead lap in 11th. Then Lechty in the top 10. Next car to go a lap down for the third time will be Katrina Ochoa for Escuderia Guia. Kovalevich has been lights out this race. Will take the bonus points for most laps led in what has been a frantic race. Eight laps to go here in Joliet. Takani just a little bit faster, but not going to be nearly fast enough here. Porter's gotten to third place. It's not going to be a win, but it'll still be hardware if she can hold on to it. She's gotten around her teammate Velicevic and Ishibashi, who now stays ahead of her teammate Valerie Fang, in what is becoming not so acrimonious team fight between Kinoshita Ishibashi and Valerie Fang. The vibes have begun this hour in Cat Dove Racing as Valerie Fang once out. That was very evident earlier in this race when Kenosha deliberately held back Fang from getting for the race lead. Bad blood has been boiling in Cat Dove Racing. And in a race where they finished 5th and 6th at the moment as things stand, seems like it's about to pop off for the Kyoto-based squad. 6 laps to go, coming to 5 laps to go. Five to go here in Chicago. Coming to 4 to go. A handful of miles to play for Alicia Kovalevich, who came back to this series not knowing if she'd ever want to do these type of races again, race on ovals again, following her crash in Germany in 2020. Coming to almost 3 years ago to the day that Kovalevich got hurt. With 3 laps to go, coming to 2 laps to go. If you ask her now, she's probably going to say it's all worth it. Two to go here in Chicagoland. And it's still not over in this battle for P2. Porter, the inside Glover, longtime adversaries. Glover will not fight too often much here as Porter tries to go for it. But it's a white flag lap. 1 lap to go here in Chicago. Kovalevich leads by 2.2 seconds. And what will eventually be a round of applause for Cherokee GP. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Alicia Kovalevich wins in Joliet. Her first win on an oval. And how amazing it is indeed. Joliet Takani gets a first career podium, second place ahead of Evangeline Porter, who adds to her collection. Velisevich fourth. Fang in fifth. Ishibashi finishes sixth. A phenomenal race. But it's Alicia Kovalevich who takes the win in Chicagoland. Fantastic race. 3 cautions tonight. 11 finishers on the lead lap. 24 take the checkered flag. Kovalevich wins over Takani and the Cherokee GP 1-2. Then it's Atomic Autosport 3 and 4 with Evangeline Porter rounding out the podium and Natalia Velisevich in 4th place. Valerie Fang and Sakura Ishibashi finished 5th and 6th for Cat Devil Racing. Thomas Rogers finishes 7th for Panasonic Team Impulse. Then it's Matthias Michelin, another top 10 for him for Striker Motorsports. Nicole Lechty finishes 9th. Rex Riley gets their first top 10 finish in Champ Car competition, finishing 10th ahead of Natalia Kurachenko here tonight. BK Glover, the first car, 1 lap down in 12th, gains points on the world champion. Simona Leroux in 13th, Asada Quito 14th for Obsidian Racing Team. Andrew Draco, the 2-time world champion, finishes top half of the field in 15th position ahead of Keisha Fox. Elise Alexander sits in the 17th position at the finish ahead of Esther Hofson, who was as high as 9th. Ends up, unfortunately, a lap down and in 18th here this evening. Shinichi Kamaya in 19th place, then Anastasius von Sonnen rounds out the top 20. Kuni Kenosha, the defending world champion. The only positive for Kenosha is that Artyom Kozlov did not gain points. Everyone else, though, basically did. 21st place for Kenosha, 1 lap down for her. Marcus Petrovich, 2 laps down, did not have the pace in this race at all. Ends up 22nd, 23rd for Bianca Lucero, and Katrina Ochoa finishing in the 24th position. Wyatt Jones and Artyom Kozlov did not make the finish. They end up 68 laps away from the finish. Kobayashi and Jackson finished only a handful of laps there, and then Asher Crane and Maria Damata ends up the very tail end of the field. That'll do it from here in Chicagoland. A very interesting 2 weeks here in Illinois. We fly over to Valkenburg, to the Netherlands, for a doubleheader weekend over in Holland at the Valkenburg Naval Air Base for some street circuit racing. The beginning of our European leg begins next week. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, ABN Sports, and everyone here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series, we appreciate everyone spending your time with us here on a wonderful Saturday night for racing. In 7 days' time, we'll be over in Europe. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun this week. We'll see you next time out in Valkenburg. So long, everybody.